Welcome back to my channel, Ragamuffins. It's me, Raggy Rock. Today, I'm going to be talking about Bulbasaur. Yeah, that's right, Bulbasaur. Pokemon 001 from Gen 1, that is Red and Blue. Bulbasaur, the original OG Bulbasaur, the first one. That guy, the little green one, everyone's favorite starter. Except he's not everyone's favorite starter, and that's what I want to talk about today. Bulbasaur unanimously is kind of regarded as the weak link in Gen 1, that is Pokemon Red and Blue. I know that there are people out there who have always been like, no, I love Bulbasaur, I love him, he's always been my favorite. It's like, yeah, but all of these people know that they are in the weak link club. The number of people that favor Charmander and Squirtle is just like way in the higher percents there. I'm not going to give you any figures, but we just all know that Charmander and Squirtle are the strong choices. The weird thing is that these choices are based solely on aesthetics. Everyone saw a fire lizard and was like, yes. And everyone saw a turtle and was like, cute. And everyone else saw a Bulbasaur and was like, oh, he's a frog with an onion on his back. It's a thing. Is he a dinosaur? Bulbasaur. It's a bulb? I don't know what he is. And that's Bulbasaur's problem, is it's kind of weird about what he is. What is he? I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be like a frog, like a prehistoric frog. I'm not sure. That's the weird thing about it, is we don't know what he is. And unfortunately, a poor design is not a bad design. It's a very ambiguous design. An ambiguous design unfortunately does not serve Bulbasaur well in a popularity contest. But what I want to get into is how Bulbasaur is actually the strong choice. Now, you may have heard this talked about before elsewhere, but the thing is that Bulbasaur in Red and Blue, and in the remakes Fire Red and Leaf Green, is actually just the smartest choice you can make. Unless you want the game to be really difficult, you just choose Bulbasaur, and here's why. In the first gym in Pewter City, when you fight Brock, you have to fight a Geodude and an Onix. Both of these Pokemon are ground rock type Pokemon, which means that they both have a 4 times weakness to grass Pokemon. Like, oh, I don't know, Bulbasaur? When you go to Cerulean City, you have to fight Misty, and you have to fight both her Staryu and her Starmie. These are both water-type Pokemon, which are both weak to Bulbasaur. When you face Lieutenant Surge at the third gym, you have to fight Raichu, who is an electric-type Pokemon, and electric attacks are completely ineffective against Bulbasaur. Are they resistant? Is he immune? Doesn't matter. At the very least, Bulbasaur is not affected very much by electric type attacks. At the fourth gym, at Celadon City, we have to fight a Gloom or a Vileplume. We have to fight grass types. They are grass type Pokemon. They are grass poison type Pokemon. Bulbasaur is a grass poison type Pokemon. That means that what we are dealing with is a same type advantage, because it means that there is nothing that Gloom can do to Bulbasaur that Bulbasaur just doesn't live with every day of his life. Suffice it to say, for the entire first half of this game, ample time, by the way, to build up your party and cover all of your bases, Bulbasaur has no problem helping you just steamroll the first 4 gyms. It's insane how easy he makes it. Meanwhile, if you're like me, a stubborn asshole, and you pick Charmander every time, you have to fight and claw and kick and scream and cry your way through wave after wave of loss against Brock and Misty. Things get a little easier when you have to face off against Lieutenant Surge, but it's still like a really hard interaction unless you go out of your way to get a Diglett or a Dugtrio, which is actually not that hard to do, but we're not talking about that today. Suffice it to say that Charmander does not have an easy time in the start of this game. Charmander doesn't really get an easy win until we get to Celadon City Gym, where he actually does have advantage against the grass-type Pokemon. But that takes like halfway through the game! And by that time, it's like I said, you should have already built up your team by that time so that you can cover all of your bases anyway. If you didn't have a Fire-type Pokemon before, you should have something that beats Grass-type. Then we have Squirtle. Squirtle will have an easy time against Brock. He's kinda just like Bulbasaur in that respect. But then we go up against Misty, and all we get is the same type advantage, which in the case of Misty's gym is no advantage at all because she is hard. She is so hard to beat. I hate fighting Misty. And then, when we get to Lieutenant Surge, nope. Then he does like a Uno reverse card. You started off having an easy time, it got kinda hard with Misty, and now you're facing off against Raichu? Raichu against Squirtle? He's probably War Turtle at that point. It's not gonna save him any, he's still gonna die in one hit. And this is why Bulbasaur is the strong choice. On top of all of this, even in the meta, outside of the actual playing through the games, you've got Venusaur, who is like the final stage evolution. And the thing about Venusaur is that, once again, of the 3 final stage evolutions, he's secretly the strong choice. Blastoise is average at best. And then you've got Charizard, who is as good as any fire-type Pokemon, albeit overhyped. Without his Mega Evolution or his Gigantamax forms, Charizard suffers from just having better options available. For example, Talonflame. If you want a fire flying type Pokemon, use Talonflame. Don't waste your time with Charizard. If you want a big bulky water type Pokemon, like literally take your pick. There's only like 1,000 of them. Seriously, Blastoise is far from the best choice. He's alright, but there are better choices. But when it comes to Venusaur, you want a big, bulky, grass-type Pokemon. Not only is Venusaur viable, he is potentially the best option. He has the ability Thick Fat, which means that he will take reduced damage from both fire and ice types, which are 2 types that are actually meant to be strong against him, so he effectively has almost no weaknesses. The only really reliable way to get at Venusaur is with a flying type Pokemon, which you could argue is a perfect role for Charizard, but again, Talonflame would do it better. My point is that if you want any of the 3 starters from the Kanto games to really carry you in the meta, you want Venusaur. He takes a bit of thinking and a bit more, planning, but he's the obvious choice. Charizard is easily exploitable, and Blastoise is just outclassed by too many others. Venusaur, look at this guy. Look at the records. Look at the contests. Look at his station. This guy is a beast, an absolute powerhouse. And again, he may suffer from being aesthetically kind of ambiguous. It's still not clear what he's supposed to be. We don't know why he's got a palm tree on his back. The design of a dragon and a cannon turtle is obviously the preferred choice. But again, Venusaur makes up for all of that in how competitively viable he is. And then there's my initial case of him just being a smarter choice in the actual playthrough of the games. I want to say that at the time of making this video, I am fully aware that there is already a lot of love for Bulbasaur and Venusaur and Ivysaur and all of that. They have obviously fit well into the hearts of many, many people. But to this day, I know for a fact that there are legions of people who swear that he is the weak link. And I can tell you that is a narrow-minded, erroneous way of thinking. Honestly, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't believe me, I challenge you to do the following. Start a game of Fire Red or Leaf Green, and for the first time in your life, just try Bulbasaur. Just choose it. Just choose Bulbasaur and see how you go. You might take a little extra damage from Pidgey when he uses Gust, but you're gonna get to Pewter City and you're gonna steamroll Brock in 2 hits. It's going to be ridiculous. You're gonna get to Misty and you're going to be surprised at how you didn't have to train for an extra 4 hours just to survive her hits. I challenge you to try something new. Honestly, I'm very guilty of this. I play a very specific way every single time. It took me playing Pokemon Black and White to be forced to not seek out my favorite Pokemon every time I play the game, because that game does not let you use anything but new Pokemon, which I think is brilliant. That's a good idea. Why can't that be a thing in every Pokemon game? I love that. That's wonderful. But start a new game of Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, Red, Blue, Yellow, doesn't matter, not yellow, obviously. Start a new game from Gen 1 and choose Bulbasaur. See how you go, come back here and leave your comments and let me know how you go. I can promise you it's going to be a much easier time, and you're probably going to hate yourself a little bit for not choosing Bulbasaur sooner. If we can tie this to real life, we can say that don't judge a book by a cover, I guess, is the moral of this story. And don't give in to peer pressure, because I know that a lot of people dislike Bulbasaur because it's the public opinion, I guess, and that's not okay either. Your favorites are your favorites, and you like what you like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, whatever stage they're in, they are competitively viable and incredibly useful in their core game. so I don't know why you wouldn't want to give them a chance. In any case, my name is Raggy. If you enjoyed the video today, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you can get instant updates anytime there's a new video, and then you don't have to miss out ever again. And let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on Bulbasaur and Venusaur and all of that. And if you really enjoyed this content, if you want to see more videos like this where I just rant about my favorite Pokemon stuff or any stuff in general, then definitely let me know, because your feedback is very helpful. In any case, I'll see you next time, Ragamuffins. Thank you very much for watching.